Hello, everybody. Welcome to Legacies Meet the Devs episode 2. Last time we had Chris Kaleki, our CEO. This time we have some brand new people. I'll let them introduce themselves in just 1 second. But today we'll be talking about our upcoming playtest that's happening tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow at noon, we're doing a brand new playtest. December 4th, December 11th. 1 week of no registration required, no key required. Everyone can just join for the full week. We got some updates, some new stuff to talk about. But am I spoiling too much? Hold on, spoiling way too much there with the battle priest. But yeah, for today we got Skylar, Garrett, and Troy. Skylar, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, my name is Skylar Kelly, and I am a game designer here at Notorious.
Perfect. Who's next?
Hi, I'm Garrett Flanor. I am a senior engineer. I'm working on gameplay systems like the inventory, the vendors, the lodge, progression, things like that.
One more.
Hey, I'm Troy. I am a technical designer, kind of bounce between helping implement a lot of stuff in the game and providing some design thoughts. I mainly focus on the rogue and the priest.
Since the last playtest was less than a month ago, our main focus was on a lot of bug fixes, stability issues. We also have some brand new content, some new abilities that we'll talk about. So on one hand we're taking bugs out, on the other hand we're bringing new bugs in, when the cycle continues. And yeah, we got some new priest weapon that Skylar's going to talk about, new hunter ability, new character models, class tool build, emotes, inventory polish. There's other changes as well, but yeah, for now, I'm going to head it over to Skylar to talk about the priest sword and buckler.
Hey everyone, yeah. So I'm sorry I didn't introduce what I do. I'm a combat designer, so I've been doing some of the class implementation, and I'm doing a little bit of the AI as well now. So I actually wanted to demo this live, but I can't seem to get into a match at this very second. And actually, it seems like Troy is supposed to be first anyway, so can I hand it over to Troy real quick?
Yeah. We had a little 5 minute prep talk before that. It was supposed to be Troy first, and I already messed it up. All right, Troy. Troy's here to
You're
talk
good.
about the many bug fixes. He's literally first on the list.
I'll talk kind of at a little bit more of a general high level of the bug fixes. I don't want to spoil the precise details of the so you guys will be getting those tomorrow. Yeah, I could maybe highlight some of the more interesting stuff. We like one big thing is try to fix the reliability on like the rogues and dagger and the teleport. I'm sure you guys that are rogue mains have been frustrated, they're just failing a lot. So we're trying to improve the reliability on that, improve the reliability on like the stars for the priest to make sure that it explodes and does damage and that it spawns consistently. Just be on the lookout for that. We also improved like the way that the AI handles stealth. Some of you guys I talked to during the last playtest about how for when it comes to AI and stealth interaction, we're we're kind of in like a midpoint. We're not at the final like ideal implementation that we want to reach for it. But we're making progress, right? What if any of you played the first weekend playtest, you got to experience the easiest thing that we could possibly do that was also the most overpowered, which was you're just invisible all the time and the and the enemies can never see you. So you just waltz right through the castle and like take all the loot. Yeah, so we're going through growing pains now. I'm trying to make it a little more nuanced, but roughly what I did is they if you're in stealth right now, what they should be doing is instead of seeing you at like their max like range, or their max aggro range in like a wide area, it'll be like a smaller, shorter cone in front of them, so you can have an easier time like trying to strategically navigate through packs of mobs and POIs like the castle and the graveyard and stuff, by making sure you stay like behind them, out of their line of sight. So that'll be fun. So that should be improved quite a bit in this. What else is on this list that's fun to talk about? I got bad news for the hunter mains. Uh, medium bow is getting a little bit of a nerf. Well, two playtests ago, next fest, the headshots weren't working. So we didn't have like a super accurate idea of how strong some of the hunter weapons would be once the weak spots were functioning again. And as we saw in the last playtest, with the yeah, at Swanifier, Goofy's calling him out. As we saw when people were pretty consistently landing headshots with a medium bow, especially with better gear and stuff, and like double skull rings in their build and all that, like double the damage rings. It was getting kind of crazy. So we pulled down the medium bow damage a little bit in response to that.
Let me add
Yeah.
another one to the hunter nerf bucket. The beetle, we had the shock beetle. That thing was insane. That thing was so fast. It was impossible to dodge. And you know what? In case you guys didn't know, at higher level, hunters could unlock this ability called shock beetle. You would put a beetle underground, and it would be like an essential, like a smart landmine. So if you get kind of close, it would just bolt towards you at Mach 5, and it would last for 20 seconds. So a good run, it was impossible to outrun it. It was like a guarantee, 100% guaranteed stun. So now the beetle walks a little slower, still pretty fast, but a little bit slower, a bit more manageable, and it only lasts for 5 seconds once it detects a target. So 5 seconds is still, like, we tested it, it's still like you have to like actively dodge it and run away from it. So if you're a hunter, you can kind of like make people dance around you, because they have the option to get away from beetles. It's not a guaranteed stun, but it's still like really oppressive. All right, so Deathmatch is not a new game mode. It's something like, usually we've been keeping Deathmatch as a map that we use to test class balance and new abilities internally, where it's just tiny arena and it's 3v3 and we just kill each other. We just die, respawn. It's fun. It's there's no loot loss. There's nothing like that. So you can use the way we have it internally is, and this is how we might have it for tomorrow and on for this next playtest. You can bring the loot you get in Greenwood in Deathmatch, but you don't lose it. I think the plan is to have Deathmatch. I don't know if it's going to be up 100% of the time from the start to finish. In previous playtests, we've had days when we turned it on, then we might have turned it off. So I'm not sure what the plan with that is. But I will say we have a new Deathmatch map, so we're definitely going to show it.
One of the things that I have been working on in these last few days is I've been polishing. We have this system inside of our game called quick looting, which is where in the inventory, if we want to take an item and put it into an inventory, but we don't really care where it goes, that's a quick loot. And so I've done some polishing. So this health potion, real quick, where do you guys think it's going to go in the inventory? Is it going to go here because it's a vertical one? Or you think it's going to go here, maybe? The answer is it rotates now to fit into position. So that is nice, because if you are picking up like flowers and things up off the ground, those flowers will now rotate. Another thing that we have done is you'll notice I go to tab 2, and it decides it goes to tab 2. So you can now put it on the same tab. Another thing we did was, you'll notice in here we have our tool belts have little stash slots. They now quick swap. Well, some of them, sometimes. They can now quick slot over to here. And then also, if we have a stash container, it now quick loots into this stash slot. There's a couple of other things that the quick looting now does, but this works in your like control clicking. It works when you're picking up things off the ground. It works when you're looting. There's a whole bunch of different places where these improvements apply. So that is one of the things I've worked on in this patch, and it will be in this update.
Awesome. Apparently that was actually a very requested change. Yeah, actually a huge change. Insane.
Swap containers in their spots? Sure. Oh, that broke. Don't look at that.
Awesome. So this is the Sword and Buckler. It is sort of a 2-item kit, even though it's 1 item in the inventory. And like I said before, it's a kind of push-poke ability set. So we have some melee swipes to kind of take out some close-range combat. We have the normal priest block that can turn into, that can turn into a very cool, very powerful attack. And that's probably my favorite attack. I probably should have saved that one for the end. But I want to show it to you. We have the Sword of Light, which is a buffing ability. And so now you can see I have this kind of glowy essence around the player that improves my damage. I also have some sprinting and dashing attacks, so now when I do a sprint attack, oh, there's a player. When I do a sprint attack, there's a swipe, and when I do a dash attack, there is a sort of poking attack that happens with it. This kit is also, because it's a melee weapon, it has a sort of jump attack, and so you can kind of slice downward and out towards your enemies, kind of taking them out as I'm sorry, from above. Let's see if I can find that player. There he is. Maybe I can get him. Yeah. Oh no, he's gonna fight me. So yeah, so that is actually. Can I show you this technical again? Why don't you just stand right there and that one's a fun push, and then there's some poking attacks. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the Sword and Buckler. Do you want to talk about the other details?
We have new character models for the priest, the hunter, the warrior, and I think the rogue as well. I'm not sure. I think the rogue got the new one. Everyone's got new models for everyone. So here's our new hunter. It's kind of a little dark in here, but we don't want to show everything. On top of character models, we also have new sets. This is just the starter gear. As you can see, she's seen better days. But yeah, we have new character models for all the classes. And let me show you the ability. This is what we're here to talk about here. Boom, ability, Sentinel Call. It is a pet. You summon a sentinel. You guys may remember the big bird that came in and like rockets through a bunch of targets. Well, this is its small friend. You just that's the bird. I'll listen. The bird is very early. It's work in progress, and it may have a couple of bugs here and there. Sometimes it may not hit the target. Okay, let me try again. It's basically a little pet you have. It consumes all of your swiftness, and the more swiftness you have when you summon it, the beefier it gets. It also scales with your character like gear and stats. So a full decked out character, full epics, like one bird can take out a player if you're like max swiftness. So let me get some distance. Alright, here. Surely it's gonna work this time. This bird. Oh, there we go. Alright, some net corrections. Alright, there's our bird. So the bird's not gonna last for a long time. She lasts for a small, pretty short-ish duration, or until she attacks 3 times. Now we have like a more updated version internally. This is like a bit of an older build, but this is essentially what it does. You summon it, you got a bird, you gotta aim, you gotta hit your target, and it locks onto the first target hit, and it becomes your little friend. It has 3 different attacks. It can do a big chunky attack, it can do a combo, or it can do like a slow attack. So the bird can come in very handy. We are considering having the bird tank for you, so kind of taunt the enemy. But right now we don't have that in the game quite yet. I'm gonna tell you guys a fun story. First implemented this bird, it had no cost, no cooldown. So we had a party of 3 hunters, and we just went to the ogre cave and we all spammed birds. We didn't crash the server, but it was a big army of birds, and we beat the ogre. 0 casualties.
Server did not like that.
The server was not happy, but we did not crash it somehow. Okay, I'm gonna invite people. We have Open. What's up, Open?
Hey, I have 2 questions for Garrett. So the first question is, when will we be able to like move items from our? So when we click when we quick loot, right? We move stuff from our inventory to the stash. It only puts it to the first stash page, and not the stash page we're looking at. So it's really annoying because we have to like manually move everything.
I just showed off that you can do that now. That it shows that it goes to
Amazing.
the
I love
correct
you.
stash tab. Yep.
Fantastic. The second
That
one
is
is,
this build.
will we ever be able to sell things to the merchants directly from the inventory without having to move them to the stash first?
I don't have an answer to that question right now. The current design of the inventory UI is that your account stash is the one that's open in that scene. If we ever change that, then yeah. But that is I don't have an answer to that question, unfortunately.
It's okay because moving stuff, like what you said you fixed, like moving it to a different page, actually kind of fixes it. Because then if you move all your like sellables to your stash that you put your sellables in, then it makes. Okay, thank you. That's my question.
Thank you for the
Yeah,
question.
thanks for asking.
All right, we have I saw another hand here, Mr. K. I remember you from last time.
Hello, this is Kay, or otherwise Catrigan. Thank you for picking me. At the moment, the only way for someone to get epic shards, from what I've seen, basically, I had like in the last playtest more than 40 hours. The only purple shard I ever saw was from the Goblin. Getting those items from bosses, which I assume you guys are having planned for the future, would be something that people would expect. But is there a plan for the more average player to, scale upwards by gathering previous tier resources?
We actually originally weren't even planning on letting people obtain epic from Greenwood. The intent is for them to be obtained from a more difficult map that come out later. And we kind of just added the epics as this like to Greenwood temporarily as this like really super rare kind of stretch goal for you guys right now. So we hadn't even like we're not done like forming what the path for progression is supposed to look like for epics at the moment. That's why they're kind of in that. It sounds like you're feeling it. They're in this sort of not completed state at the moment. But yeah, for sure, it will be more. They'll be more nuanced. It won't be such a brick wall in the future, especially as we get the maps that we're planning for and stuff online.
Thank you for your questions. Appreciate it. Okay, who do we have next? We have Blinn.
Hi, guys. The pre-sword looks amazing. Holy crow. Busy on that. I've been excited for that since I saw it in the roadmap. I got to follow up on a question about the map design. And since the whole team is here, I can't miss an opportunity to say I think we all absolutely love Greenwood. It's such an awesome map. I was so amazed to see it, even back at that first playtest weekend. I just think it's so awesome. I've also saw that Karth is eventually on the roadmap for another map, but I understand that there's like a huge time involved for planning and making and deploying and testing and all that stuff. Just to help me understand like the time involved, the effort involved in actually making a map of this quality. Can you outline like the plan for the new map and the general process of how you guys plan those environments and actually execute on those plans?
So in a future episode, we're gonna have our lead level designer come in and talk about all of this stuff. I know he also recorded the process of editing and bringing to life a whole POI, the graveyard. He has it from zero to what it is now. So it's a very long video. It's like hours long, like goes throughout days. So we're not going to show the whole thing, but we'll show like little bits and pieces. I do know that it takes multiple departments. We have, first of all, it's the level design team who just kind of gray boxes the whole area. They have sketches that they go off of, and then they level design, make sure the area like feels wide enough or narrow enough, and they can build whatever they're going for in that specific POI. Then it gets blocked out with like blocks, and then the really, really long process is just replacing all those gray boxes with art, and that's where a full department comes in. They just go like bit by bit, and they like draw. We have like a bunch of sketches we're probably gonna share when we have Colin here. Then we have light coming in, then we have sound passes. It's a lot. It's like a bunch of different departments.
And so Karth is next, and can you share maybe what's beyond that, or like the kind of I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm just excited to think about like the expanded world of this whole universe, and any information you can share would be awesome.
Yeah, I can tell you what I can say. Karth is not the one that's next. The one that's next is, yeah, we have 2 new maps coming before that. One of them is, I believe we mentioned this last time. Troy kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, that we want to have different tiers of maps. Like some maps are going to be easier, some maps are going to be harder. Greenwood is our kind of medium tier map. At the moment, it's our only map, so it's kind of hard to put it in perspective. But we will have harder maps with more difficult enemies where you get higher tier materials. So, and we will have maps where you get like, you get lower gear, but you get it easier. So that's kind of like the intro map. So one of the intro maps is gonna be the farmlands, and that's probably the one that's coming next. And then we have another one that is, we already have it internally, but it's at the gray box level. I think we'll save that as a reveal for when we have it.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Cool.
we already have another map.
Okay. Thanks. We'll leave it there. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And I'm Mr. James.
Hey everyone. Actually, just jumping in, I missed the entire presentation part, so I apologize. But you started talking about the farm, which had me really excited because as someone that loves this type of genre but finds it incredibly challenging, the idea of some sort of tutorial to like ease you in that isn't just immediately good luck with your white gear against everyone else. I'm really thankful for that. So I had a question about the farm specifically. Is that tailored to people that are technically new, as in their play hours are very low, and so once you are done with that, it kind of starts to go away? Or is it a way to sort of like kit you out with whites so that in the event you get to a green couple of items, but you lose it all eventually, and then you can go back to the farm to get some white items again, sort of like producing this sort of like scav character where it's like, okay, I don't care if I lose all this stuff and I can take this risk because the farm is always there.
Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. That is the purpose of the farm. It's supposed to be the easier map, the one that's easier for newer players to get into, and like the rarity tier of gear you're expected to be in while you're in that map will probably be like the default starting junk tier, and then the white armor tier, the common tier, and maybe you'll see like greens like rarely start seeing your first few or something in the farm. And yep. So it's kind of what you're saying. Also, I will say in this patch, we did make the enemies, a lot of the skeletons and stuff, and even the wolves, they did get kind of easier. So hopefully in this next play test, you'll have an easier time too.
I'm feeling called out a little bit because I just died to some goblins, so they did get easier, but I'm getting a little distracted.
Hello, my question is with the new potion belts. Before, when you drank a potion, you could just infinitely drink it until it ran out. Will there be a change where it auto fills back into your tool belt if you're drinking the same potion and like the 3-stack runs out?
I'm looking into that.
Okay, cool.
No promises, but that is it. We do notice that it's very clunky now, and that is something that we are tracking. Not in this playtest, obviously. We haven't announced it's not going to be in this playtest, but it's something that I am looking into of how we can make that a little less clunky. The problem is the old tool belt was essentially we bound to a specific type of items or of item, and then you just used with the first one that was in your inventory. Now it's an actual slot, and in order to achieve that, we would need to move items into your or around in your inventory when you aren't moving them, which is kind of awkward. Because we don't know how your inventory is set up. We don't know if you have things in specific positions because you want them there. Stuff like that, right? We can't read your mind.
Yeah.
So we need to address that and make sure it doesn't feel even clunkier that it's taking items out of your inventory and putting them in your slot tool belt.
Thank you for the questions. And thank you guys for watching. Reminder that the new playtest starts tomorrow. Again, this one's like open to everybody. You don't need a Steam key. You can just like play the game for a whole week. Try out the new abilities. Let us know how broken the new abilities are. Let us know all your feedback. And yeah, hope to see you guys in Greenwood and the new deathmatch mode for sure. So yeah, thank you everybody, and we'll see you also next week. Next week we'll do another one of these, probably Wednesday, I imagine, on the last day. We'll see. We'll announce you guys in Discord, and yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, check us live on Discord next time. I'll have a link in the description. And yeah, have a beautiful rest of the day, beautiful week, and see you in Greenwood.
Hey guys.
Yes.
See you guys.
Bye bye.